Hey y'all, Outside the Fame takes us to Texas, where of course everything is bigger, including the personality of 2004 World Series champion Kevin Millar. He was the positive energy, the motivator, and the glue in that clubhouse to help the Red Sox complete one of the greatest comebacks in baseball history. Now Millar is enjoying ranch life here in Texas on his 155-acre lot. So let's cowboy up and join him. Texas might not be the spot you think of when it comes to retirement for former Red Sox hero Kevin Millar, but he fell in love with the area after attending Lamar University. Kevin, of course, is hardly retired. He and his wife Gina are busy raising their 4 children. You can see him on MLB Network's Intentional Talk and NESN, and of course, events celebrating the 2004 Red Sox team that captured the hearts of fans throughout New England. Millar played 12 seasons in the major leagues, but his journey to get there was a little bit different than most.
I was an undrafted guy. I grew up in Los Angeles, went to junior college, and I always tell kids, there's somewhere for you to play around this country. I wasn't good enough. And so I went to junior college, I wanted to play, I wanted to start. So off to Beaumont we went, but it's a game that I've loved. It's a game that, I don't have a lot of tools. I always joke around, I don't have a toolbox. They have the speed and the power.
Tool guy?
Yeah, I don't even have a toolbox. But I always said they need to go and put that 6th tool in there, and that's what's inside of the kid.
All heart, yeah. That goes much further than any of this skills.
It's the hardest thing to judge because we can see physical, 6'4", looks beautiful in uniform, but if you're softer than hummus, you don't win. And so I think I've had to fight and winter ball and grind it all the way up, and so I appreciated every moment I was in the big leagues. There wasn't a day that I went by that I didn't have fun, and I didn't appreciate every day, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Kevin bounced around the minor leagues for 6 years. When he finally made it to the bigs, it was with the Marlins, where he started to open up some eyes with that quick bat. 2003, a wild sequence of events for you personally. So Florida Marlins, they sell you to the Chunichi Dragons in Japan.
Right.
And lo and behold, young little Theo Epstein, he breaks the cardinal rule and claims you off waivers. And the Florida Marlins were mad, the Chunichi Dragons were madder. But how was Kevin Millar?
The Marlins were going to get $1 million to sell me to Chunichi. I was going to get a 2-year, $5 million contract, 5.3. So it was the most money I've ever made in my life and never had, a dollar to my name. So I'm like, all right, we're going to Japan. So me and my wife, Gina, we might have had some cocktails and went down and got a tattoo. She got a tattoo of Millar in Japanese, like lower back, and it kind of goes vertical, and it looks like train tracks. It's like a little crooked here. We were in Beaumont, Texas, pull off the side of the road. I'm like, oh boy. Then Theo Epstein claimed me off waivers. Didn't even know what that meant. It got weird. Now we're in a 6-week battle of, do I go, do I stay? I don't even know what's going on. Of course I'm gonna stay with the Red Sox. Well, now they won't let me out of the deal. And now I got Chunichi's mad, the Marlins are mad they're not getting their $1 million. The Red Sox are, I'm not Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa. What are we fighting for this guy? So I remember Larry Lucchino, who was the president at the time, was like, all right, I'm about done. Well, then I had John Henry, who was an owner for us with the Marlins, who's bought the Red Sox in '02. Thank God there was a little relationship there. So give Theo and John and the guys, they stayed with me. But it got to be a point, like I was going to New York to meet with the president of Japan, baseball. They weren't letting me out of the deal. It was this weird deal. And in that culture, it's a big deal, and you don't realize that, but it got done. And it got done on Valentine's Day, I believe, in February.
It certainly did, you're right.
And jumped right in my truck. And I'm telling you, I drove straight to Fort Myers, and I showed up, and I'm now
you gave Theo the biggest hug you've ever
Biggest
given.
hug ever. That's why we're brothers. I always said, I'm your half Jewish brother now. Shalom Mazel Tov. I got Konnichiwa. So I'm learning my languages.
Stay with us on Outside the Fame. When we return, it's time for some early Red Sox memories with Kevin Millar. And later in the show, we'll explore 1-5 Ranch and interact with some of the residents. This episode of Outside the Fame is brought to you by new Sam Adams American Light, the most premium light beer in America.
Millar Drives one to deep left, way back and gone.
I go back to Boston. I think I'm from there. I played there only 3 years. 03, 04, and 05. The
Well, you
greatest 3
became
years.
a fan favorite right away.
But I think because we were
yeah.
normal, we were just dudes. We weren't like 6'4". We were bad body. You know, the Yankees were good looking and rich and tall and you know, dating movie stars. We were all just kind of like, hi, how you doing? We weren't celebrities. I think that city gravitated to that, the normalcy that we had, and that's what kind of made that team special.
And speaking of fitting right in right away, I think in the clubhouse, for sure, you're like definitely one of the motivational guys. I mean, I don't know how you got the entire team to shave their heads, but if you could take us through, like, skin it to win it,
Yeah.
I would love to hear about how that. And we're not shaving our heads today.
Yeah, we are.
FYI.
We got two guard, please. Do we have the Clippers? Jamie's up first. Got it.
Right.
No, this is exactly how it went. So Oakland A's were awesome back then. They
Yes.
had the
So this is a 2003 playoff.
2003. We are fighting. We are at the end of September. We make the wild card. We got to the playoffs, and we ended up facing them, and we knew it was going to be a tough matchup, 5-game series. So we go to start out in Oakland, and we lose the first two. We lose on a walk-off bunt in the 12th or 10th by Ramon Hernandez with 2 outs, and we're down 0-2 now. We get into this Oakland clubhouse, by the way, which is not good. That being said, I saw Clippers in the bathroom, and we're down 0-2, and I said, boys, we're shaving our heads. And everything is like, oh, what? You know, some dudes are in, some dudes are like, you know how it goes. They're like, I don't know if I want to shave that. No, this has nothing to do with looks.
Yeah, exactly.
We are shaving our heads. I grabbed these Clippers.
Camaraderie.
Trot Nixon, Marabelli, Derek Lowe, by the way, not good
Yeah.
with his hair. Derek, you can keep your hair. And he got fake hair now, so he's doing great. I think he won the Brian Urlacher tour. The best part about this whole thing, Grady Little, Theo Epstein,
Yeah,
Jed
like manager,
Hoyer.
general manager,
Like
yeah.
we had the entire group was in. So that's the thing about the only one, Nomar wasn't in.
Well,
and
he was
Pedro.
getting married.
Nomar's getting
yeah.
married to Mia Hamm. Pedro had beautiful soul glow
Yeah.
locks. So we said, I get it. I didn't realize how bad we looked.
Hey,
Like,
here's
we're
the
not
thing.
very good looking,
Here's
I'm
the
gonna be
thing.
honest with you,
It
without
worked.
hair.
It worked to get through
We
Oakland.
came back 3
Yes,
straight, and
you
we
won.
beat Oakland.
I mean, hello. Yeah, you won. So then comes, I mean, I don't even like to talk about the 2003 playoffs.
Aaron Boone, if you're listening,
Yeah, we don't. like
we're
you.
still boys,
We
but
don't like you.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
That swing, Aaron, that was ridiculous.
All right, so we don't have to. Everybody knows what happened in the 2003 playoffs. So
We lost, by the way, but we character build. That's where the starting. That we had a character build.
it's the
first.
start of the
cried.
next year, which we'll get into in a second after we tell everybody where did Cowboy Up come from?
Now, this is great. So
Because I love it. It's so good.
2003 is when it started. Kenny Chesney and I became friends. Tracy Bird, who's a country singer, we lived in the same area in Beaumont, Texas. He calls me and says, hey, can you, Kenny Chesney wants to take batting practice. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Just tell him to get out there at like 11 o'clock before we all get here. So he comes out, he's walking by me in the clubhouse. We've never met. He's about that big. He stopped growing also in 4th grade like my dad. And he has his hat on. I didn't even know it was him. And so I followed him into the bathroom. It's a pretty funny story, actually. He still tells it to this day. So I follow him in the bathroom. We've never met. And in the bathroom in Fenway, you got urinals. You got one short, one's taller, right? So he ends up going to the taller one. He should have been at the shorter one, but he's at the taller one. So now I'm on the shorter one. And there's just this little divider, and you're going potty as a guy, and you're like, so I start doing this. So I'm just doing that, and you start seeing him go like this. And I'm just messing with him. And I go, oh, you got a big one, huh? And he's like, I was like, no, a big urinal. Like that. And dude, when he gets done, and I go, Kevin Millar, nice to meet you. He goes, oh, son, I tell you what, Tracy Bird told me you were just a crazy son of a... And that's how we met. Then the whole Derek Lowe's end of September, leaves the game with a blister. The media's all over him. We're playing Oakland. It's like this big game. We're like 2 games behind the wild card. So then I call all the media over. I'm like, get over here, blah, blah, blah. Y'all need to Cowboy Up. And, you know, this guy pitches and does everything he can. I mean, he can't throw. It sounds weird, but like you can't throw with a blister. It's like
Especially
having
a
an
finger.
ingrown toenail, right? And so that's how it all started. Well, the next day, the guy asked me, what's Cowboy Up mean? I said, I don't know. It just means fall off your horse, get back on. The front page was Millar challenges,
gigantic,
media,
yeah.
the city, the Cowboy Up.
To all these fans, and it's time to Cowboy Up!
We had cowboy hats, country music. It was the coolest thing for 6 weeks. And that kind of continued into the 04 scene.
And the 2004 season is where we're going to pick things up with our conversation with Kevin Millar, but not before I get to experience life on the ranch when we come back on Outside the Fame. All right, we're out on the ranch now, Kev.
Now I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends right here, okay? These are the babies. I got Cowboy right here I want you to feed. We've got Helen and Greta. We named them after our grandmothers. So those are the two girls. Josh Beckett gave me him, 8 months old.
Get out,
Yeah, it's my
Josh
housewarming
Beckett.
gift. So not candles, not perfume. You get a longhorn, so here we are.
That's
But
a good friend.
I want you to see how easy they are to feed. So stick your hand out. They're gonna eat out of your hand like it's a bunny rabbit.
So tell me about him. How old is he
so
now?
Basically, we got him when he's 8 months. He's probably close to 4, if not going to 5. And you know, when we had him, he was this big. And so
His horns were?
Yeah.
Not
So
him.
like I think they grow. I want to say 8 inches, and that's per year. So you can kind of always tell how old a longhorn is by their horns. They're awesome. Duke. So Duke's the boss of the food.
All right, I'm coming.
And now just go over there on the side of him.
Yep.
Just dump that whole thing in there and he'll eat. Keep going. You're the boss.
Okay.
Remember?
I remember. It doesn't seem like I'm the boss, though.
You're the boss.
I don't think I am the boss. Okay, all right, I'm the boss.
So you're nailing it.
Oh my God.
So the main thing is that they eat separately, or Duke is the pecking order. So he's 1, and then Charlie's 2, and then
Oh, that's
Mojo's
so funny.
3.
And is it
So
because of their age, or?
just there's always a boss in horses. Like they
Okay.
control it. I mean, and they kind of know.
I thought you just said I was the boss.
Now, Charlie was a working horse owned by one of the sheriff
we're talking
here in
about
Mason
you.
County.
Charlie.
But he had no love, no nothing. You couldn't even touch his face for about 3 months because he's just been working. And so then the guy said it'll take about 3 months, and he's like the best. He's very high IQ. They're like buying dogs. You can buy a pit bull, you can buy a lab, you can buy a labradoodle if you don't want
chose
shitty.
horses.
But they're worth it because there's a
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
There's a piece to the animals. You know,
Yeah.
you come out here and
I think the whole area is very peaceful. It's
Yeah.
so peaceful.
and they like to be around you,
Yeah.
and they're just, you know, they know you're gonna feed them. But
How often do they get ridden?
the girls ride them. They all the friends come out and ride them. The boys will ride them. You know, they like, you know, taking their buddies out.
And you're really smart because you're never going to forget your kids' names. Like when you get older, there they are.
So, there they are.
There's the kids
Cashton, Kylie, Canyon, and then we added Karis in Hawaii. So that's why she's a little off, but that's basically.
Oh yeah, a little bit different font. It's okay. It's
And they
okay.
used to be bigger
But
before
all
you were
Ks
53.
as
They used to be like
as
way
a
up here.
pitcher, right?
My biceps are like this, and then as you get older, they shrink.
Walk, and there's life for the Red Sox.
2004 playoffs. Here we go again against the Yankees. You get past the Angels, and then come the big bad Yankees again.
Yes, same two teams meet a year later. Here we go. We're already roll, and we're down 0-3. And Dan Shaughnessy writes an article, and in that article, he wrote a pack of frauds. The whole article can say, hey, the Red Sox aren't as good as the Yankees. You can say, you know, we haven't played well. But when you use the word fraud,
Yeah.
so all of a
That's a
sudden, ting,
different
ting, 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 and it kind of pissed me off. It did. And I'm like, you could say a lot of things, but fraud? There's not a dude in here that's fraud. I'm going to tell you that right now. Dudes fight, dudes go after, dudes are ball players. So Dan Shaughnessy comes in with the media, and to his credit, you know, he shows right up, and he's the first one in there. And so I start popping off, you know, and I said, fraud's kind of like, that's a tired.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
a
we
tough
walked
word,
out,
yeah.
and the boomstick kind of follows us out, and that's when it happened. Don't let us win tonight. If we get by game 4, we got Pedro game 5, Schilling game 6, and anything happened game 7. So my whole thing was, don't let us win tonight. If they do, they're in trouble.
We know the story from here. Bottom of the ninth, Mariano Rivera on the mound, and Millar works the Hall of Famer for a walk. Dave Roberts pinch runs, steals second, and scores on Billy Miller's base hit. Extra innings, and David Ortiz's walk-off home run in the 12th inning ends it. On to Game 5, where Big Papi continues those heroics. This time it was a 14-inning win, and the two teams head back to New York, where one bloody sock later, the series is now suddenly all tied up at 3.
I left my room that day. Here we are at Game 7 in Yankee Stadium. All the fans are yipping and yapping, and we're on the buses. I said, how often do you get a chance to leave your room and say, we got a chance to shock the world?
And that is exactly what they did. 4 straight wins against the Yankees, and it was on to St. Louis for the World Series. You guys were riding such a major high from what you've just done.
Almost blew it in Game 1, by the way.
That's true.
We had like 94 errors, and they tied it up 9-9, and bell horn again off Julian Tavares. It's the top of the foul pole late in the game, and we win 11-9. But we were up big time, and all of a sudden, here comes the ball flying around. It's like wet bar of soap everywhere. And I'm like, man, we basically almost lost Game 1, but we were able to kind of sweep.
Oh, you absolutely. So the sweep happens.
So we get on the plane. You know, it's late. It's like 3 in the morning. We land at like 7 or 6:30 or 5, whatever it was. But it was just getting light out. And I'll never forget, we landed, and I look over, and there's a sea of people.
At Logan, yeah.
Just to say hi. Just to say congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. And all of a sudden, you're kind of like, oh my God, dude. Like, you know it was going to get hyped, but you didn't know it was going to be hyped at 5:58 in the morning. And everywhere we went, it started kind of like the sea of people. Then we had this parade, and then there was 2.5, 3 million and a half people.
3.2 million people at the Duck Boat Parade.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
You don't know and realize how many
you
lives you've changed, and that's why I try to tell players now, like, enjoy every moment, be a leader, touch a dude's life every day.
We will have more with Kevin Millar when we come back, and I take a little batting practice with the Red Sox legend.
See?
So Sam Adams happens to be our sponsor today for this episode, and I know they sent you a lot of beer. The newest one out is the American Light.
Yes, for the obliques. That's what we're
Keep
talking
the
about,
obliques in
the
check.
dad's bodies.
We need to keep them in check. But I don't really know a lot about the beer, so I'm going to bring in the pros for us to learn a lot about it. My friend Lauren True here.
Hi.
And
Lauren.
she's the head of brand at Sam Adams. So she's going to help us out, get to know this beer and what it's all about. Lauren?
Yes, let me tell you a little bit about it. This is our new Sam Adams American Light. It's made with 100% American ingredients sourced from local farmers. The barley comes from Montana, the hops come from Washington, and we're proud to be owned in America and brewed in America. This beer is exceptional because it's easy drinking, but it's not easy to brew. It actually took us years to craft the perfect light beer because I don't know about you, I love light beer, but I want it to have taste. And that's what we deliver here. It's getting resoundingly positive feedback. You can also find this beer at Fenway this season as well.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Sam Adams is proud to be the official beer sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. We're going on our 7th season with the Red Sox, and we hope that many more are to follow. You can find Sam Adams anywhere in the ballpark, including Boston Lager, which is our flagship style, Summer Ale, and of course, American Light.
All right, cheers.
The 0-1. In the air to left field. Crawford heading back as he looks up, and that ball is gone! A 2-run home run from Millar puts the Red Sox on top 10 in the 11th.
Can you believe it's been over 15 years since you retired?
No.
That's like crazy. I think you can still play.
I'm telling you the truth, my heart's still young, I still want to play, and I get out there and I try to like take BP with my kids. I'm like, I went to Fenway Park last year and I couldn't even hit a ball out. I'm trying. And I was swinging his aluminum bat, just hitting the wall. I'm like, Daddy just got old, bro. I used to close my eyes and hit bombs in Fenway. Daddy got old, but 15 years is a long time.
Well, let's talk about your family a little bit.
Yeah.
4 kids.
4 kiddos, man. You know, I got boy-girl twins, Kylie and Cash. They're doing great. Kylie goes to TCU. Cash is playing Jordan at Temple Junior College. He's doing awesome. Canyon's a senior, playing first base at Vandergrift High School. He got the size. So I don't know if that's Derek Lowe's kid or I don't know, but he's like 6'3", left-handed hitter. And then you got Karis Grace. She's in 8th grade going to school at Llano up here in the country. She's doing great. She's in volleyball and but they're all in sports. Kylie played tennis. I always battled that. I still feel guilty because I was always at the baseball field, right?
Are you coach or dad more?
I was coach as a young, but I'm dad. I like my chair. I love all the kids. I want them to come out to the ranch, but I love helping. I'm not the guy that played in the big leagues and everything's just so easy and look at me. The one thing I always tell these coaches, never forget how hard baseball is. Stop yelling at the kids. Stop screaming because he's throwing a bit over the head. Stop screaming because he threw a ball away. Watch a big league game. We swing at balls in dirt, strike out all the time, give up home runs, 0-2 pitches. it's okay. You think the pitcher's trying to walk the pitcher? No. He's trying to throw a strike, but then you go, what the hell's going on? Hey, dude, you got released in 3rd grade, so shut up. If I'm telling you this game's hard and I played the highest level, you need to zip it.
It looks like Kevin Millar has both the parenting job and the cowboy life just the way he likes it.
It's funny, I look back now and the ranches I never understood.
I mean, I think you're grandfathered in now because you've been here for a long time.
Now I think I'm more cowboy than
my.
my Texas friends.
Yes.
Like
I
I'm in
agree.
boots and jeans and I'm out here and I do this all by myself out here. It's really, honest to God, it's a place for me to get away and unwind.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
I don't have one. I mean,
Look, it's magic.
Cheers.
Are you ready to take some batting practice?
I am ready.
So I want all the bloopers in, please.
Oh, come on, Parker. No, that was a terrible pitch, by the way.
100%. There we go. Okay. All right, we're coming now. Here we go.
It kind of stings your hand a little bit.
Yes. Nice.
Ooh,
See?
yes. This episode of Outside the Fame is brought to you by new Sam Adams American Light, the most premium light beer in America.